Hello, comment il est? Aujourd'hui je suis au Laos, mais je vais t'emmener cette fois-ci à Kuala Lumpur pour découvrir mon amie Alena Murang que j'ai interviewée donc il y a quelques semaines. Malheureusement il y a un décalage entre les vidéos qui sont éditées et mon Instagram que tu peux suivre parce que c'est tout en direct. Là tu vas voir que je suis au Laos actuellement avant Vienne, il y a des grosses inondations. Suis-moi sur internet, sur Instagram, blablabla, bla bla bla, et je te présente Alena Murang, rien que pour toi.
Lekuah padelon niung wenaam ketepaan.
I'm from a small town called Kuching, which is on the island of Borneo, part of Malaysia. My dad is Kelabit, and it's a small tribe. There's about 4,000 people in the tribe, less than 4,000 speakers of the language. This is called Sapeh. Sapeh used to only be played by men, and it's played by a few different tribes along the Baram River. So, for example, by the Kelabit people, but mostly by the Kenya people, also by the Kayan. So there are three different tribes that speak three different languages, but they're kind of connected through the instrument, and it's very closely related to the river and to the rainforest. What's so special about Borneo? I think most of all the environment, the natural environment is so beautiful. We have the oldest rainforest in the world. Like, for example, flying back to my village, and you just see like a sea of trees. It's like flying above the ocean, except it's all these big green trees. And then you see like this tiny area which are villages. I think everybody in Borneo has a connection to a village, whether they grew up there or their parents grew up there. Everybody is linked to a village. And I think when you grow up with those values of living together, especially for us, we come from a long house. So you have like, for example, ours is 22 families in a long house. But for the Iban people, you can have like 100 families in a long house. So you live together, it's communal living, you share your food, you look after each other's kids. So I think those values live strong in people from Borneo, like people who live in cities and towns and, you know, have a modern city life. I started playing Sapeh because my cousins and I, we were learning how to dance. So there's a dance that goes along with the Sapeh, the hornbill dance. At the time, there was only one CD recording, and there was like one or two Sapeh masters who could play for our live dancing practice or dance shows. So what happened was, out of the dancers, 7 of us cousins, we decided to learn the Sapeh so that we can support the dancers, make the song longer, make the song shorter. So it really came out of like a creative need more than anything else. I guess we didn't really realize the maybe significance of what we were doing at the time. We approached Uncle Mathew Ngau, and I didn't know this, but when I was doing an interview with him 2 years ago, so I learned from him about 16 years ago. But 2 years ago, we did an interview together, and a reporter asked him why did he want to teach us. And he said at the time he didn't know if he should teach us because we were girls, we were young girls, and girls just didn't play the sapeh. He was like, what would the community say about him? But then he kind of reflected and said, there's no one in his generation learning, let alone our generation learning the sapeh. So he said, I got to teach them. So we were actually his first students. Music and art is a form to tell stories and to share emotions, and music is a tool to do that. So I think it's a lot about stories, connecting people through stories, and every human, like every person has a story, and every story comes from a place. So music is like this big complex thing that connects humans to each other and to different places at different points of time. This one I actually did at art school. This is my final project. It's taken from a photograph of the Pop Mong, this lady, and my uncle took the photograph of her. Mm-hmm. He's a photographer, so I saw these photos of her, and I was like, oh, I love the lines on her face, like I have to draw her. And my uncle said that he asked if he could take her photo, and she went and put on her best clothes and her beaded hat and her earrings. And her beaded necklace. Beads are really important to us. And a few weeks later, she died.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just sat down, and it took me, I think, 20 hours to draw it. I didn't get up, I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. I finished 2 pencils, just drawing it. Yeah. This is a grandfather who was really close to us, and he was the first headmaster. He sadly died last year. He was like the great chief of the Kelabit people. Yeah, I started this piece for fun, and I had kind of just drawn this girl, and I didn't know where the piece was going. And my uncle Elias, he came to stay with us in KL, in the city, for like a week. And when I was little, Uncle Elias used to paint and used to carve around the house. I think he's been a big influence on me. So anyway, he came and he was like, oh, I feel like painting. So I was like, yeah, go to my studio, paint anything. And he decided to paint on one of my paintings, which I loved. So this is his typical style, and the feathers are his style. And then I did a little bit more, and then
it's beautiful.
Finished it. Yeah, I really like the piece.
Bonjour, je suis Ludovic, j'habite à l'île de la Réunion. J'aimerais savoir au niveau musical, quel est votre rêve?
Ludovic, thanks for your question. It's a really big question. As a musician, what is my dream? I never thought I'd be a musician, and I kind of took every day and every year as it comes. And I think ultimately what I love doing a lot is connecting with people. Connecting with other artists is something that's so special and so amazing and so deep. When I sing, people don't understand the language or the words, but they feel something. And for me, like, I've done my job as a musician if and when that happens. So I really hope I can continue doing that.